Hi guys! So today I'm going to be doing a reading for Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising from the time period of February 17th to February 24th. Sorry that this reading is so late, you guys, but I definitely have poor time management skills when it comes to this stuff, or I'm learning how not to because I wasn't sure how much work all of this was going to take, but here we are, and hopefully that things will kind of be on schedule from now on. And just a little disclaimer before we start, this setup won't always be this way, and this background is something that I painted. I'm not an artist though, I'm a tarot reader, so it's not the best thing in the world, but we have what we have, and we're doing what we can with what we have. So just bear with me on that, and if the audio or video quality is a little messed up, I'm sorry about that, and I will be continuing to work on improving my skills in that department because I want to continue doing readings like this for you guys, and I really enjoy it, so I want to make sure they're fun to watch and easy to do so. So anyways, let's just get right into it. The first card I picked for you guys is the theme for this week, which is Activated Earth, Power Places, Ley Lines, Trust Where You're Led. And then for the energy you need to be keeping within yourself this week is the Pig, which is maintain self-worth and self-esteem. And then the last card, which is advice that Spirit has for you guys right now at this time, is A New Start is Coming, or the New Moon card. And I feel like, let's just get right into it. This was a very direct message from Spirit. I didn't do too much reading on the cards like I normally do because I feel like for Aries, there's a certain place or something is calling you at this moment. It's a certain place that you want to visit, or a certain person you've been thinking about a lot that you want to see or communicate with, or there's a certain location you want to travel to, or that really heightens or piques your interest. And I have a feeling that you really need to start paying attention to this thing because of the Activated Earth card, the Trust Where You're Led part. There's reasons that you all of a sudden want to go visit a certain place, or if a certain even restaurant comes to mind and it's a certain location, not necessarily like I want McDonald's, but I want the McDonald's that's on Main Street. If there's something of that kind that you are thinking about quite a bit, I would recommend taking the trip and going there, or planning on doing so, or looking more up about this place that you are all of a sudden interested in visiting or have this interest in. Because Spirit is trying to tell you something through this Activated Earth card, like maybe if you do go to the McDonald's on Main Street, something interesting will happen, or you'll meet someone that you were supposed to meet, or an event will take place that you were supposed to learn from, and yada yada, that so forth. But with the energy you're supposed to keep this week being the Pig, I think the Pig's main purpose in this deck is to show you that you are worth everything. If that makes sense, that your self-worth should be a lot higher than it is. If you guys are kind of going through a period of lack of self-confidence, Spirit is trying to make you feel better by reminding you that you are worth a lot, and that you're better than you think you are, and you're smarter than you think. And that your self-esteem needs a little boost because there's a new path coming, a new start is headed your way. It's coming very soon. I don't know if it's a person or a career or an opportunity or something of that kind, but it is promising and it is big. So Spirit really wants you to start paying attention to the places you've been all of a sudden wanting to go, and just start loving yourself more and realizing that you are a really important person, or a really good person, or a bad bitch, or whatever, however you want to call yourself. You need to start talking up about yourself more, Spirit is trying to say, I think. Alright, so now let's get into the Celtic or Celtic cross-spread, however you say that. And it's just going to be a general reading for Aries placements for the week of February 17th to the 24th. Sorry if I misspeak a lot. This Mercury retrograde is really messing with my ability to say anything clearly or correctly, so my bad on that in advance. Okay, so the main theme that you guys have for this week is justice, or just the situation we're talking about right now. That is the theme of it. Alright, and what's the challenge or conflict that Aries has to face. We have the Six of Pentacles. Okay, and what's going on below the surface? Well, whoopsie, sorry, not going to take those. What's going on below the surface that has maybe led Aries to this point, or that's making Aries behave in this way? We have the Page of Wands. It's the Page of Fire in this deck. Also, I'm sorry about this deck being kind of beat up, you guys. I've had it for years, and it's very well loved and well used. It's one of my most trustworthy decks, which is why I use it as much as I do. So I apologize for like the edges being a little ripped and torn, but I promise I have not mistreated this deck. I love it to pieces. And what has happened in the recent past for you to get to this point, Aries? We are going to see in one moment. Okay, we have the Hierophant, which is unity in this deck. And what energy is Aries, Sun, Moon, and Rising, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising people putting off in the present moment? We have the Life Experience, or the Tower card. And then what energy, or what is the most likely outcome that Aries people will have in regards to this situation in the near future? Okay, we have the Star. Interesting, you guys. Okay, let's just get right into it. At this moment, I feel like you're at a very pivotal moment in your life. I think that things have started to resolve themselves when it comes to problems you may have had in the past, or issues you may have had in the past. I've just started shuffling on the Hierophant, and right away we got the Fool. So I have a feeling that there was something new that started that kind of brought you some sense of security when it comes to the people around you and how they make you feel and how they are trying to assist you in your life at this moment. I feel like things are all fair in your life right now. Exactly. As I'm shuffling for justice, I got justice. So things, I feel like matters have resolved themselves. Things are peaceful. Lots of Libra energy. So if you guys are thinking of a Libra right now, they're showing up very big in this reading. I mean, so is Aquarius, so is Taurus. So, and fire sign with Page of Fire, but you know, it doesn't always have to be that way. But right now, problem being a lack of give and take with the Six of Pentacles. I do see that there's something about this time period in your life, especially with the Tower going on in the conscious moment. That is what I'm trying to get a clarifier for. We have the Eight of Cups reverse. And one more just before we start talking about it. This was two more, but we'll take them both. We have the Wheel of Fortune reverse as well. And the Eight of Wands. Or sorry, Swords. Okay. So there's something that is going on in the current moment. Even though deep down things are going well for you, I feel like your life is pretty sturdy and balanced. But I have a feeling that there is something on your mind consciously that is making you feel very nervous and very trapped in a certain situation. I feel like this situation may have been brought about very abruptly, or kind of like, you know, it's a very important moment in your life, but you didn't realize that this situation would maybe get to be this drastic or this important, if that makes sense. I feel like everything now is coming down to this moment for you guys. While you're in a really good spot karmatically, and you know exactly, like, you're in a good place to make rational decisions for yourself, I would say. I think you can see the clarity of situations around you, and you are very able to stand your ground when it comes to how you feel about something. But I think that there's something going on for you, like, involving, like, a past problem is what I'm seeing. A past problem that maybe you haven't really moved on from is being re-brought up to light, and I think it's kind of making you a little bit like uncertain and unwary of exactly like how you should even approach it, because the fact that it's resurfacing now, I feel like is kind of random to you guys. You see a lot, because I see a lot of positivity going on within yourselves, in your future, in your current present moment, and in your past. I feel like this situation may come, like, maybe something has finally caught up with you, Aries, that you may have known was eventually going to catch up with you. Maybe it was something someone said to you that kind of triggered this revelation, or maybe you decided to say something to someone after a long period of silence, or after realizing a certain something about them. I feel like finally there was some insight given to you, and it is some important information, and I feel like you're taking, like, you might have said something to someone with the Magician and the King of Wands right there, and the Page of Wands. I have a feeling either you know exactly what you want to say to someone, or you have already said this thing that kind of triggers this, like, you know, this whole weird, not weird necessarily, but like this crazy moment that happens in your life that you weren't necessarily anticipating, because you, for one, are very balanced and you know exactly what you're thinking and feeling. Maybe the person or the situation, because say it's something you said at work, or something is finally caught up to you at work, like a day off that you took like 3-4 weeks ago. Finally somebody asks you like why you took that day off, or something weird, and it wasn't, like, your story's not matching up, or this person sees it as a very, like, the wrong thing to do, and it causes a lot of problems in your current life, and it makes you feel upset, and there's a lot of conflict, people are fighting a lot, and it's a lot of battle of ego and pride. That's what I'm seeing. Doesn't have to be that work situation, but I was kind of using an example for how it could be, like, just randomly brought about to you in your daily life or something. Or maybe a family member decides that something from the past that they haven't moved on from still bothers them, and they decide to confront you about it randomly, and it kind of like causes a big, like, disruption in your guys' life. But it's something that you're going to have to deal with, and I feel like you knew was gonna, like, happen eventually, but I feel like you're ready for it. And I want to see why the stars in the future for you guys in this specific situation. We have the Father of Swords reverse. I'll get one, maybe two more cards. We'll see how we feel. So, this is 2 cards. Nope, that was too many. Sorry. Okay. We also have the Knight of Swords in reverse. And we're going to get one more. Even though I kind of have some type of idea. Okay. And we have Judgment reverse. Okay. So, sorry, I don't know if you could see that. For you guys in the future, I see that you still are going to follow on the path you know you're supposed to be on. I can sense that you're keeping that, like, calm, rational state of mind. But I have a feeling you guys are going to come off very strong in the future towards whatever situation has been opposing you, or all of a sudden was brought to light with this Tower or life experience. I have a feeling with both of these Swords cards in reverse, Father of Swords, Son of Swords, and the Judgment reversed, your conclusion or your opinion on the situation may be delivered very, like, quickly, harshly, and maybe without any consideration of how the other person may view that, or how you may even view the words you're saying. You may just kind of start talking, and it all spills out before you have the chance to filter yourself and maybe hold in the things that you didn't really want to say, because you have come to a conclusion and you know exactly what you want and what you're going to do, but maybe the way you portray it isn't exactly the way you should say it in order to get your point across in a healthy and communicative way. I'm going to get one more card for you guys just overall from this deck, because I'm very interested in this spread. I feel like with the Nine, okay, so we got the Nine of Wands. Okay, if I can even show you. Nine of Wands. So I have a feeling with that don't give up message that I get from the Nine of Wands in general is that I feel like Spirit is trying to tell you that you are in a good place with yourself, and the things that are brought to light are supposed to be brought to life, but it's more of like a a confirmation that you're on the right path versus anything else, and that you really should stand behind your beliefs and continue to forge forward, even if it seems like the world's against you. I feel like, and it may be a little bit stressful or difficult to deal with, or maybe the way people receive you isn't the best, but Spirit's still trying to tell you that they know that you're in the right in this situation for the most part, and that maybe your way of delivering this this tactful truth to the other party or whoever we're dealing with here is like, this honesty is needed, but maybe kind of just make sure we aren't too hurtful, because words hurt a lot more than we can originally mean them to, especially when we just kind of say things without thinking. So take that as it resonates. We are going to move on now to the romance reading, my he said, she said spread. First, we're going to pick 2 cards. One is you, one is the person that you are romantically interested in. Right away, we got the gray squirrel, which is find new ways of solving problems. And you can pick which one resembles the most with you. They're made, like, my way of picking for this is, and the reason I use an animal card to pick the pile is because if the animal reminds you of a certain person in your life, or if you are reminded of the animal, or if the little thing underneath says, like, the find new ways of solving problems, if that reminds you of either the person you're with or of yourself, that can be like a signifier that that pile is for you. But you know, this is all up to you as well. The second person we got in this connection is the horse, which is care for others and let them be free. Okay, Aries. First, we're going to do the general 3 cards for each person. This will just be what's going on with each person in their daily lives right now. It may involve each other romantically, it may not. We will see as the reading goes on. First, we got the 6 of Cups reversed for the gray squirrel. 2 more. We have the Mother of Pentacles and the Father of Pentacles. And now I'm going to pick a card that resembles the energy that the gray squirrel is bringing towards the horse at this time. This energy will be conscious efforts or non-efforts that the horse can see. Like, the horse may not be able to see these 3 cards going on for the gray squirrel, but the horse will be able to see whatever energy is being put on the table. If that makes any sense. I feel like you'll be able to see as we go on. Oh, weird. Not weird, but the squirrel got the Daughter of Pentacles as their approaching energy. So first of all, I'm just going to say this now. The gray squirrel could be an earth sign. So Capricorn, Taurus, or Virgo. This could easily be an earth sign with all of the extreme earth energy we have here. Either that, or this can be read a few different ways, and I'm just going to say them all, and if one applies to you, take it, and if the others don't, or if any of them don't, just don't. But the gray squirrel either has a very fond connection they look back on from their past. I have a feeling it's like a mother and father figure for some reason that they really look up to when it comes to either their daily life or their romantic connections. Now, when it comes to how they're presenting themselves to the horse, I feel like from all these lessons they've learned from this Father and Mother of Pentacles in the past, they are presenting this to the horse as a very diligent and like opportunistic opportunity, I guess, and it's coming from a place of higher knowledge, I believe. It's coming from a place of knowing this is the right way to do things, or the way that it should be done when it comes to this connection. This also could be the gray squirrel could see the horse and themselves as the Mother and Father of Pentacles, and this is like a couple that has it all together on the earthly plane. The house is beautiful, the job is great, the money in the bank is stocked. They're kind of a power couple in their way of being able to create like a stable and steady and like comfortable environment for themselves that also makes others feel comfortable and safe. And this could be a relationship they're in currently with the horse, currently with someone else from their past, or used to have with the horse in their past. And I have a feeling that this is like something that the gray squirrel is thinking about quite a bit, and that's why they're bringing this to the table with this Daughter of Pentacles energy, which is very like, it's a good prospect, and it's very beneficial for the both of you on a material plane. This could be a very good like earthly relationship. Not saying like earthly as in this is not a spiritual relationship, but this could be a very beneficial person to the horse in a like earthly plane. I don't know how else to explain that other than like on the idea forefront, maybe it's not there, but when it comes to having a nice, stable, secure home and family life, and like everything's all taken care of when it comes to like the basis of their lives, that is this couple for sure. They have their like career and finances mapped out to a T. They are very like prosperous when it comes to manifesting abundance in their lives and such and such. So for the gray squirrel, I definitely see a very strong earth couple, either that, and it doesn't have to be earth signs, but a very strong earth couple that they are looking up to, looking back on, or learning from, and bringing these lessons that they have learned from them to the horse. And I want to see how the horse is feeling in this relationship right now. Okay. So the horse, so far, we have the Fool. And we have the Eight of Swords. One more card for the horse. Oof, way too many. Sorry, guys. Just want one more. And it is the Nine of Swords reverse. Okay. And then the energy that the horse is bringing to the gray squirrel at this time. I got two, I guess. So we have the Nine of Wands and the Hangman reverse. Oops. Yeah. Hangman reverse. Hangman reverse. Sorry. Putting that the wrong way. Okay. So, for the horse, I can see the horse is a little bit nervous about starting anything new in their life right now, I think. Either they've been hurt in the past, or they feel really stuck and trapped in a predicament they're in their life right now, and they don't see how starting anything new would even be possible. They want to. They definitely have that mentality that they're bringing to the gray squirrel of, I know what I want. They know what it is that they want, and they will not rest until they get there, if that makes sense. But I feel like at the end of the day, they still are very worried, and they still kind of like, they know they need to resolve that worry, and that it's kind of like detrimental to them and their well-being. But for the horse, it may be for good reason. It could be kind of, you two could be going into a relationship without really getting to know the other before you do so, and the horse may be a little bit nervous. Even though the gray squirrel seems to have only good intentions when it comes to presenting this offer to the horse, I feel like the horse is probably just kind of looking back at how things used to go in their lives, and I feel like they have a lot of like not mental problems, but like mental worry when it comes to like stressful situations or things of this matter, that's not going to stop them from pursuing this connection, even if that means like totally narrowing down every single option that they've had in the past, and like kind of not looking at things from a narrow viewpoint, which the gray squirrel, I'm sure, very much so appreciates. I see a good mutual reception between the two of you right now in the present. But now we're going to get into the conflict you both have within this relationship. And see what goes from there. Okay, so we have the Three of, or not Cups, sorry. The Three of Pentacles are ready for the gray squirrel. It's the Three of Presents in this deck. We have the Nine of Cups. Sorry, I had to count the cups. I'm bad at Roman numerals. One more card for the challenges or conflicts the gray squirrel has within this relationship. We have the Star as well. And now, how are these challenges being presented to the horse? Well, we're going to take both. We have the Ten of Cups, and we have the Page of Swords, so the Page of Needles in this deck. All right. So right away, the gray squirrel, I feel like, has a lot of good intentions for this relationship. I feel like the thing that they're worried about the most, though, is maybe, like, I have a feeling that the gray squirrel is listening to the things other people around them are saying. Maybe it is detrimental to the relationship. I have a feeling that, like, the gray squirrel really wants to make this work with the horse, and they're really expressing that, and I feel like they're also expressing their concerns if they have any. I feel like they're being kind of open on that forefront just in general. I feel like the gray squirrel may just be a little bit worried too that the horse, like, is almost too good for them, or that it will work almost too well. I see a lot of really good potential either between the two of these people or just within the gray squirrel themselves. I feel like they're very hopeful and they have a lot of good prospects in terms to this connection, but I also can see that maybe the expression of this isn't as clear as the horse maybe would like to see, or maybe the horse is hearing this from other people and not the gray squirrel themselves. That could also be a part of it, with the Page of Swords being the communicator. So we have the Emperor reverse for the horse already. Two more cards. We have the Knight of Wands. And one more for the horse. It's way too many. And we have the Five of Presents, so the Five of Pentacles. Okay, so for you, oh, hold on one second. We are going to pick one more card for how the horse is approaching the gray squirrel with their challenges and problems, if they are at all. We have the Page of Pentacles reversed. All right. So I have a feeling the challenge that the horse is exhibiting within this relationship is they're having a very hard time letting go of control of the outcome and taking this connection by storm for fear of it not working out. I have a feeling that there are things that the horse, like, knows about the gray squirrel and, like, about the connection. They know it's a good connection, but I have a feeling that they're not really communicating this to the gray squirrel in a way that is, like, upfront and forward. I think that the horse may be using past experiences in a negative light to, like, base their fears upon, if that makes sense. Maybe the horse talks to the gray squirrel a lot about an ex that used to make them feel a certain way and do certain things that maybe the gray squirrel, like, has in common with said ex, but they're not necessarily bad traits, if that makes sense. Maybe, we'll just use this as an example, maybe the gray squirrel is an earth sign, and the horse doesn't have good experience with earth signs, and the horse is like, we'll just use Capricorn as an example. Maybe the horse is like, I don't really like Capricorns. Capricorns aren't the best sign for me. I just don't think this is going to work out because of the way things have gone before. And the gray squirrel's kind of like, but just because I'm a Capricorn doesn't mean I don't like you and that I can't provide and bring something to the table, I guess. It's kind of like the horse is using things it's known or learned to, like, present negative ideas onto the situation, or to not clearly communicate their, like, their fear of not being able to like be enough for this person, or their fear of not being able to control the way the gray squirrel feels about them. I feel like the horse is dealing with the gray squirrel like the horse. This is nobody that the gray horse, has ever dealt with before. The gray squirrel is. I feel like the gray squirrel has a lot to offer to the horse, and it's really kind of throwing the horse off guard, and they really are enjoying the idea of this prospect, but at the same time, they're not enjoying the idea of the fact that they can't predict the outcome, and they don't know exactly how to, like, assert themselves in this way, and, like, gain control back of the situation in fear of being, disappointed. And I feel like the horse's lesson in this situation is to kind of like let things go and let it happen, because the way this is it's very positive so far, but I'm going to keep shuffling for you guys. So in the future, we're going to see what happens between the two of you. We're going to pull 3 cards for the gray squirrel first. Okay, we have the Sun. Hopefully you can see that. The way this camera is set up is just like, it won't stay this way, I promise. We have the Ace of Pentacles. You have the 3 of Cups. Okay. Now, how is the gray squirrel gonna present this energy to the horse in the future? We have the Hermit. Very interesting. Okay, so, I don't normally do this, but I want to do the horse's side first before we talk about the future, because I feel like the way the horse is coming at the gray squirrel will definitely affect the gray squirrel's attitude towards the horse. So we're going to get 3 cards for the horse first before we continue. The first one is the 7 of Wands. Second one is the Queen of Cups. And third is the 8 of Pentacles in the reverse position. And then how is the horse coming at the gray squirrel in the future? You have the 4 of Swords in reverse. Okay, and now I'm going to pull one more card for how the horse is coming at the gray squirrel, or it's just going to fall out of the deck. We're going to take this one because this is the one I actually shuffled. We got the Magician. And now, how is the gray squirrel going to come to the horse in the future? We have the Hierophant. Alrighty, very interesting. Okay, so now let's get into it. On the gray squirrel side of things, I see a very prosperous future for them when it comes to this relationship, for sure. There's going to be a lot of like fun times happening for the gray squirrel, and a lot of like happy opportunities for their life to progress. Now when it comes to the horse, I feel like the gray squirrel is giving the horse an ultimatum at this point. The squirrel, we'll just stop saying gray. The squirrel is coming at the horse kind of offering either you can do this with me, or you can do this without me. We can do this together. We don't have to do this together. I feel like the gray squirrel is at a very good point in their life, regardless of if the horse is in it or not. The gray squirrel wants the horse to be a part of it, but the gray squirrel doesn't really want to like force the horse to do anything it doesn't want to do, especially since the horse kind of is causing a little bit of problems here with the way that they're feeling inside, like this nerves, and their need to control the situation. Also on the horse's side of things, I still see this whole like The horse has a certain set of beliefs that they are willing to drop. I feel like there's something that happened to them in the past, or some type of bias that they have that they won't like let go of. So in a way, they understand that they need to communicate this in some way whatsoever, or some way or another, to the gray squirrel. So I think they're coming out of a period of thinking about it instead of like acting on it before saying anything. And I feel like it'll be delivered a little bit more receptively to the gray squirrel than the horse like would have expected, because there's something that's really kind of still weighing on them involving this connection. Whatever the horse is nervous about, at least I feel like they're going to express that to the gray squirrel, so the gray squirrel and them can finally be on the same page, because you're really close to being on the same page. The two of you are. There's just a few things almost on the horse's side of things that need to be switched, which is more like that fear of things happening the same way that they've always happened for them, when the gray squirrel's a whole different person than the horse is like used to dealing with. So like when you get different people, you have different outcomes and all of that stuff. So I would see as the horse as maybe giving this person a chance, letting them try to like pursue you in a way that maybe you were not allowing them at first, or at least fully letting them in when it comes to how you're feeling, because I think the gray squirrel would understand and would be willing to work with you when it comes to however you want to move forward in the future, if you are the horse. If you're the gray squirrel, I would say keep the patience and diligence, because you're doing extremely well, especially in romantic prospects. You're very mature, you know what you want, and I think that that is exactly why the horse really, like, even if they're not sure on what to do romantically right now, they won't give you up as an option. So if you're the gray squirrel, you're doing very well, and whatever you've been doing differently has been working. And if you're the horse and you're just kind of maybe unsure if you want to be in a commitment right now, if you want to be more free and do your own thing, that is totally fine. But you kind of need to let the squirrel know before, like, you know, feelings get hurt or something of that kind. So now we are going to get into the 5-card intuitive spread. This is just me picking 5 cards from this deck, reading them exactly how I see them, and giving you the message that Spirit gave me. This could be an advice, this could be a warning, this could be like a random prediction or a random sign that you needed or weren't expecting to get, or that clarifies something for you. So we have the 2 of Swords, and these readings don't take very long because I usually just say the first thing that comes to mind, maybe the first 2 things, and we keep it moving. Okay, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. We need to know 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups, 2 of Wands, or Swords. 3 more cards. 9 of Swords. Two more cards for Aries, Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising. We have the Star. And last one. We have Balance. Okay. So, right off the bat, there is something, a decision between 2 different paths, I believe, that you guys are struggling on deciding which way to go, if that makes sense. I feel like you're kind of worried about this, and it has been worrying you for quite some time. I don't think, though, that this thing is something that will fully weigh on you forever. If anything, it's bringing you close to like more of an equilibrium within yourself. It's making you realize what really makes you happy and what doesn't. Like, you don't want to keep around things that worry you. So I feel like you know this and you're trying to eliminate the situation in the first place, but the answer will come within you and your real wants and needs. Keep that in mind. Sometimes people project things on us that we think we want, or they kind of tell us how to live our lives, and we feel like since maybe we respect that person and trust them, that that's the right thing to do. But At the end of the day, you have to do what you feel is right and what's going to bring peace and balance to your life. So I'm going to get one card of advice from Spirit on the spread just to see what they would recommend you do. Because I can see the situation for what it is, but I want to see what Spirit has to say. We have the Ten of Swords though, so it's the end of a difficult situation. Embrace the change and expect things to get better. Could be recovering from an addiction as well. So the advice is if it's something, if there's a path you need to let die or an old bridge you need to burn that you're already in the process of burning and you're trying to realize or think, like you're trying to see if it's a good idea or not, Spirit is kind of pointing in the direction of you moving on and moving forward in another direction than this thing that's causing you this desire to move on. I think this is Spirit's nod that like it's the right thing to do to move on, and it's going to bring you a lot of peace and balance to your life versus all of this stress and anxiety. Because I've noticed a lot of like mental stress within a lot of the signs lately, and I don't think Spirit really wants that energy to continue. I understand though, because trust me, I suffer with that myself, and it's easier said than done, the whole don't worry about it thing, but you know, every little thing is going to be alright, like Mr. Marley says, so we have to keep that in mind too. Alright guys, so now we're going to do a closing message from Spirit for Aries Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus people, and what they need to keep in mind leaving this reading. We got wait. It's not yet time. Things are being woven. Okay, and we're going to get one more card from the Moonology deck. What does Aries Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising people need to know leaving this reading, Spirit? New start is coming yet again. Okay, this is just Spirit's reminder that just because you don't see this now doesn't mean it's going to come. Wait on this new start, and I feel like things are going to start to make more sense for you. I know that, like, that sounds a little bit vague, but you're going to know it when you see it. I've been sensing this for Aries, a new, like, transformative and incredibly, like, abundant period for them. But I feel like since you guys maybe aren't seeing this right now or don't believe me, like, Spirit is trying to tell you to wait, and, like, you will see what I'm talking about. That's exactly, like, the only message I got from that. Don't be too negative and don't be too upset or pessimistic on the situation, because something good is going to come out of it. You just have to be patient. And I know that's hard for Aries individuals, and that's okay. I understand. But things are changing in a positive light for you, and you will have a whole new life, and it will have a whole new purpose, and it'll be something like crazy good you weren't even expecting. So, alright, we're just going to end it there. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I really enjoyed doing this reading for you. I hope you guys got something out of it as much as I got something out of it, I guess. And I hope it resonated with you in a way that makes sense. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. And I hopefully will see you again soon. I'll be posting more readings, so expect a lot more from me if you want to see it. So, yeah, I hope you guys have a good week. Bye.